Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is Maurizio Melis. It's a pleasure for me to be here today. So thank you to Snam for inviting me. Let me say that probably for anyone who wants to organize a meeting or discuss about sustainability or energy transition, probably you must choose October or November. Because I think that in the next years, every autumn will remember to us what is the price for not stopping the climate change. But so sustainability, it is clear that it's not an option, but we must be honest and say that it's a hard way to go. It's not easy. I think that actually the challenge is make sustainable sustainability, let me say, with a joke of words. Because the challenge is not just to see a final sustainable goal, a final sustainable scenario, but to make sustainable all the route that we must do to go there. And there's one possible key, just one, which is technological innovation. In the field of energy, probably this means that we are going to abandon a quite relatively simple system based on few fossil fuels and to embrace a very complicated world with a wider range of energy sources, more complex grid, a more interconnected grid, many energy vectors, more than today, a variety of technology to store energy, and of course there will be need of strong integration between the physical infrastructure and digital infrastructure. Let me say that it is quite easy to build unsustainable digital infrastructure, but it's quite impossible to build sustainable infrastructure without the help of digital technologies. All this will require the capability by all the organization to collect any ability of innovation that lies inside the organization, among the employees, for example. But I don't think that, I think that no organization can handle all this change just alone. Hence the need of opening the companies, trying to involve startups, public institutions, research institutions, and other companies. And I think that's the reason for which today we are here. The Innovation Day is actually quite a once-in-a-kind opportunity to understand what is happening in the field of innovation in the infrastructure sector, so to get in touch with the emerging technologies and to build a new relationship with other companies and to build new synergies which are very precious today. So let's start the journey. Today we will discover a lot of innovation. We will new startups. Let's start the journey with the opening remark of Stefano Venier, CEO of Snam. Welcome.
Good morning to everyone. I think, and welcome to this second Innovation Day we have today, and I'm very happy to see all this room full of people in spite of the logistic problems we had today. I had a logistic problem to come here, and I think most of you had to deal with these problems today, this morning. And I thank the moderator for making this introduction that leads us to the reason why we are here. I mean, the sense of innovation and the role of the innovation with respect to the transition we are facing is crucial. A couple of weeks ago, as Snam, we introduced our transition plan. That was a key milestone for us. I mean, the sense that was the first time in where Snam made clear the roadmap toward transition net zero. And we made also clear the importance of innovation to get there. The role that innovation can and have to play to deal with the issues of this transition. And we know, just with very few numbers, that in transition will provide the largest majority of the solution that today we don't have. According to the World Economic Forum, okay, 70% of the development in the future will come from new technologies. And we know that there are at least 10, 15 categories of clean technologies that has to provide the solutions for get to net zero in a feasible and sustainable way. Those technologies, by the way, are known only partially right now. As we know, only 1/3 of those technologies are already commercially available and competitive in terms of cost. And we have also 1/3 of those technologies that are very in the early stage. So they will provide a contribution. They have to provide a contribution for the future development. But nowadays, those need further efforts to be brought to the market and be a solution for the problems. And with those new technologies, we also have to deal with another very critical issue, that is the massive investments we need to do for leading this transition and applying those new technologies. And therefore, the way how we develop and we invest on those technologies will be, again, extremely important to, let's say, make this pathway feasible and achievable. I read a paper a few days ago that said, with respect to 2030 targets and finally the 2050 net zero, we are in a very crucial period of time in where we make it or we break it. In the sense that the things we will do in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years will decide the fact and the final results for 2050. So let me move now for a while, just in this short introduction, to say what is the role of innovation for Snam. This is the second Innovation Day, as I said, and it's the first time we are opening this event to, let's say, other stakeholders that I see in the room. And I think it's important to the benefit of those, we explain what is the role of innovation for us. And that is being clearly defined a year ago when we updated our strategy, our ambition, through a process that involved a large part of the companies, the leadership team, that set what is the Snam ambition, to become a pan-European multi-molecule player. And to get there, we have two crucial levers. One is sustainability, and the other one is innovation. And the role that innovation has to play with respect to our ambition is, again, extremely important, because it has to define the way how we progressively evolve our infrastructure to be compliant with the targets we have. And not only with respect to our internal target to be carbon neutral by 2040 and net zero compliant by 2050, but also playing a critical role or an essential role to let Snam to play the role of system operator that provides the platform for the rest of the system to decarbonize. And that is extremely important, because we don't have to forget that this journey do not involve only the energy sector. Energy sector is, of course, one of the pillars, but we don't have to forget that we have to support and provide this, let's say, green energy or decarbonized energy also to the other core pillar sector for any single economy. There are steel, cement, plastics, fertilizers. Those are the economic building blocks. And the role that a system operator as Snam can play is also with respect to those sectors to help and support them, make them available, reliable, secure, and decarbonized energy for let them to make the same kind of journey we are trying to do and we will do. And the way we do it, it's what I called a couple of years ago, and I shared this kind of view with the team, is with a dual-track approach. Working at the same time on developing and deploying proven technologies within the company and support the open innovation in a sort of parallel process that goes on, of course, with different speed, with different stakeholders involved, but with the same final aim. Okay? And there are two key words I like to, let's say, bring to your attention to reflect the way how we are doing that. And one is pragmatic approach, because also when we look at the technologies, new technologies or, let's say, commercially available technologies, we have to look at them in a way in where we understand clearly what is the contribution that those technologies can provide to the development of the company, and the way those can do it, and the way how we can embed those technologies within the core processes and the core infrastructure of our technology. And that is exactly the same with respect to the open innovation, to the new solution, new technologies. Look always the way how those can be applied in, to focus and not spread too much the efforts of the company. The second, that is again a crucial word for us, but for everyone, that is two words: cooperation and inclusion. To do that, we can't do it by ourselves. We can't do it on standalone basis. We need to cooperate with all the other stakeholders that can be involved in terms of joining efforts and combining contribution to see how this type of cooperation and inclusion can provide tangible results. These are the two, let's say, mainstreams we try to apply with respect to this dual-track approach. Finally, why are we today? We are for the Innovation Day to share ideas, but also to prize some of those ideas that has been brought to us by our employees through the Centrale delle Idee. We will also have focused on the HyAccelerator and the other initiatives we are working in. And this is extremely important because that is a tangible example on how we can engage and involve people inside and outside of our company in this journey. And let me conclude with a final sentence to navigate this type of journey. I think I'm borrowing a sentence from Alan Kay, that was a computing pioneer in the industry of information technology. He said, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. And I think today, the scope of today is exactly in that sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Stefano Venier for his introduction. Before to proceed, I want to present Luca Bolognesi, which is down there. He's a scriber, and he will help us to synthesize what will emerge from from this second Innovation Day. Now it's time to introduce the first session. It is dedicated to La Centrale delle Idee that was mentioned a few seconds ago by Stefano Venier. The Centrale delle Idee is an internal challenge open to the employees of Snam that can propose new ideas and put them to test in an 8 weeks program of refining and development with the help of mentors. And today we will know the 4 finalist team that were selected among around 50 proposals. And finally, a winner will be proclaimed. And now to better understand how the Centrale delle Idee works, we have a video contribute, a short clip. Thank you.
Corporate innovation, in order to be effective, needs experience and expertise, and moreover, it needs great ideas. But how we generate those great ideas in Snam?
Okay, the question will be answered today. It's time to meet the 4 finalists. Each of one will have 3 minutes to expose his idea, and actually the winner of the 4, one winner, as you saw before, has been decided by an expert team, but all of you will have the possibility to vote for the best performance, let me say, the best presentation you will see in the next minutes. So let's start with the project presentation. The first is a BioSmart truck. And so please join me here on the stage, Nicola Battilana, who's the mentor of the team, and Serena Bellia, okay, is the right way to pronounce it? Thank you. Member of the team. Welcome. So, Nicola, so if you can give us some information about this project, what do you think is of the project, and if you think that there was any pivotal moment during the development of the project that there was a game changer, let me say.
Yeah, sure, definitely there was. It's when they decided, the team decided to overlap, to add to the idea that was of a virtual pipeline project.
Closer to the mouth, please.
To add the idea of an application, a platform, an IT platform, in order to accelerate at the beginning and possibly enable the market to go into the virtual pipeline solution. This was, I think, the pivotal moment that is also explaining the very heterogeneous team. We have people from the technical proposal solution, from infrastructure planning. We have people from the IT department, from the operation and maintenance, from the supply chain, and construction as well. So, and all these people together, confronting each other, discussing, I think they summarize very well the idea of cooperation and working all together to cope and to enhance innovation. And now I leave the floor to Serena for her pitch. Good luck, Serena.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you, Nicola, for the introduction. I'm going to introduce you to our idea, which is BioSmart Track. BioSmart Track is a project developed to help biogas producers located far from gas grids and which are close to the end of electric incentives. To preserve incentives, they need to upgrade their plants from biogas to biomethane, but distance represents a barrier to market access due to high pipeline connection time and cost. So the risk is the decommissioning of their plants. How does BioSmart Track solve this issue? It's a project, it's a service through gas truck fleet which collect biomethane from production points and deliver it to some injection points in Snam's grids. To make this service more efficient, it's coordinated by a digital platform integrated in Unico, which is a portal already used by Snam's customers. And this platform has the aim to help the customers during all the phases of the project, starting from connection request, moving to service monitoring, and also providing a customer care service in case of any problem. BioSmart Track has several strengths. First of all, is a real flexible service because it can potentially reach any plants in Italy and also optimize resource using same fleet and same injection points for more than one producers, and also reduce time and cost respect to other solutions actually available on the market. Thanks to BioSmart Track, we will be able to increase biomethane volume in Snam's grids up to 3,030 million cubic meters per year. And it is also a great business opportunity towards energy transition, allowing us to decarbonize our grids by the means of a service which is accessible, flexible, and integrated. Thank you, and let's drive together towards a more sustainable future.
Thank you, Serena, and thank you, Nicola.
Thank you.
So, time for the second team and the second project, Borealis. So, please join me. Maria Lacchini, mentor of the Borealis project, and Federico Poli, a member of the team. So, Maria, can you anticipate to us what are the main strengths of the project and if there was any particular challenge during the way? Usually it happens that there is some particular challenge or that is not so innovative.
There is always a challenge, thank you. Good morning to everyone. When I first met Borealis team, I was impressed by their enthusiasm on their idea, which immediately engaged me. But what makes an idea successful? If I ask you, like in the famous movie, Wolf of Wall Street, sell me this pen, probably you will answer with emphasizing the features of the pen. Oh, this is a beautiful pen, this is the best writing pen in the world. But the correct answer is another, much simpler, and is write here your name. And obviously, you can write your name if you have a pen. The point is that if you want to sell something, you have to create or find a need. And at the same way, if I ask to our customer of gas market, are you in difficulty with the complexity of Italian market rules today? I'm sure that the answer will be yes, and we need to find a solution to solve this problem. And Borealis is exactly that, an answer to a real market need, a 360-degree experience that can improve our customers' journey. Furthermore, Borealis team take the challenge to expand their idea, expand their scope, and making it suitable not only for gas market, but in the long term for other markets, hydrogen, for example. So I won't add anything more, and I leave the presentation of the idea to the team with Federico Polia.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. And now we are going to talk about the Borealis idea. Look at this picture. There is a confusion on the market. Because in the market, there are over 400 shippers and traders in the Italian gas market, over 200 gas revolution published by ARERA, by authority, only the last year. The constantly evolving Italian gas market causes a lot of problems to shippers and traders regarding risk of errors with economic and legal consequences, general confusion about the regulatory framework, and complexity in the daily operation due to lack of resources and tools. How do we respond to this need? We created Borealis, a high-skill consultancy to support market needs. Borealis offers an integrated solution to shippers and traders using tailor-made consultancy, training, and workshop on a specific regulatory topics, and analytical software to forecast their gas demand. At this moment, in the Italian gas market, there are other players, yes, of course, but only Borealis have the possibility to offer all services in one solution. Borealis brings a lot of benefits. First, an improved connection with clients and market. Second, a better transparency and comprehension about regulatory framework. And moreover, risk mitigation and support day-to-day operation. This is a concrete business opportunity. We estimated 50 million euros per year as total market value, considering 400 shippers and traders in the Italian gas market. In addition, we are absolutely ready to catch a new opportunity in the future regarding decarbonized gases at the international market. Thanks for the attention, and light up the market with Borealis.
Thank you. Thank you, Federico, also for respecting the time you had. So, third project, Energy Mail. I want here on the stage, Nicola Molicanardo and Michele Ricciardi. They both are mentors, and then Matteo Lusignani, member of the team. Okay, you are two at the end. Michele, thank you. So Michele, I want to know how do you think that this project can make the difference, and how the team worked on during the 8 weeks of refining project?
Okay, good morning, everybody. We used to say at the technical department, also following many of the projects that we follow, that we wake up every morning and we ask to ourselves how we can improve our plants and our technologies. And this project is an example. It increases efficiency. No, we are engineers, so we have to look for better way to better solve the problems, but also gives a chance for sustainability. So this is the new topic that you have to follow. So I leave the floor to Matteo, but I've been told that you have been contacted by Ferrari because
wow.
yes, they would like to try the turbine to be applied to the new Ferraris for the next Formula One championship.
Oh, wow. So
maybe
you already won, actually.
It is a good time for Ferrari to
You
win.
already won, so.
No, please.
Thank you very much.
That's good news.
Thank you.
So as we are facing the worst consequences of the climate change, Snam has posed very ambitious targets on the reduction of emissions. As you can see, a very consistent reduction in the next few years to reach carbon neutrality in 2040 and net zero in 2050. So we as a team have identified one opportunity in our reduction plans. In these plans today, as you can see, we use gas to preheat the system with a heater and giving heat to the process. In this case, we are also emitting CO2. In this kind of plants, we have also electricity consumption. And to give you three key data of them, we have 14 million of standard cubic meters per year consumed, but also we have 9 gigawatt hours of electricity consumed, and 30,000 tons of CO2 consumed every year. So we thought about something different. In this traditional system, we want to rethink everything. And to do so, we applied an innovative technology that I would try to show here. So thank you, Sergio. This is a mini turbine. This is a very simple, highly scalable, and with low maintenance object. And we could apply this object to the plant. I'll show you where. Thank you, Sergio. We can put this mini turbine here and fuel a heat pump, which is giving heat to the process, and also having three main benefits. The first is zero gas burnt, obviously, but also a surplus of electrical energy coming from the mini turbine, which is fueling the heat pump, and also 0 ton of CO2 emitted. So in Italy, we have mostly, I think, 80 plants, more or less, with a medium-small size, with an internal market of 32 millions. And we referred also to one plant, which is the one in which we want to do a pilot project, which is in Dego, near Savona. In this plan, we also calculated which is the capex required to install the Idea, and it's about 350K with a positive net present value of 98K. So what we want to do in the future? In the first phase, surely, we want to roll out on the Dego plant the project, but also develop a software to control which are the best plants to apply the technology. In the second phase, we want to do the scale of the technology on other Snam's plants, but also develop the end-to-end service to the customer. So we want to begin from the technology towards the installation and maintenance, offering a complete service to the customers. And at the end, we want to externalize all the service to other customers. I want to thank you, my team, and conclude with a sentence from Antoine Lavoisier: nothing is lost, nothing is created, everything is transformed. Thank you very much to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Michele. Thank you, Nicola. Fourth and last for today project. The project is called Phoenix. And it will be presented by Alessio Gambato, mentor, and Vittoria Troisi, member of the team. Alessio, what do you think could be the impact of this project, and what makes it unique in the market, in the field, among the proposals?
Yep, thanks. Well, Phoenix aims to develop an innovative and pragmatic solution to tackle one of the major challenges in energy transition, which is how to decarbonize hard-to-abate industries. A challenge that will require multiple solutions, that there won't be a one-size-fits-for-all solution. And in this context, we believe that our project has the potential to gain access to a large emerging market thanks to its unique approach that integrates two ecosystems, basically. On one side, electrons, which is the way renewable energy is produced. On the other side, molecules, more specifically CO2. So in other words, the system that Daria will introduce sits at interface between the electricity system on one side and the future CO2 infrastructure on the other side, and does enable a new approach to the idea of sector coupling. So I leave the floor to Vittoria.
Thank you, Alessio. Good morning, everybody. Today I will talk to you about Phoenix, an incredible solution which generates high temperature heat. You know what? Directly from CO2. But let's start from the context.
Okay, betrayed by the, okay.
Nowadays in Europe, up to 50% of energy demand is covered by process heating, and it is responsible for 75% of emissions. So what's our solution? Phoenix. Phoenix is a versatile, retrofittable system which allows to produce high temperature heat while capturing CO2. Let's see how it works. Phoenix is basically a thermochemical stock of calcium oxide. If flue gases coming from an industry reach the battery, CO2 is captured and a relatively high temperature heat is released. If higher purity CO2 is instead available from infrastructure, the system will act in the same way, but in this case, releasing higher temperature heat, up to 1000 degrees C. As soon as the battery is exhausted, it will be recharged by power, especially from renewables, and CO2 will be released, entering in a new loop that could be either carbon capture or heat production, making Phoenix a real versatile system. Let's see also why retrofittable. Currently, hard-to-abate industry producing cement, ceramic, or steel emits a lot of pollutants coming both from combustion of fossil fuels and processing of raw materials. Phoenix can be directly integrable in the industry and can completely avoid emissions lied to the combustion of fossil fuels, and also it will go even farther by capturing CO2 coming from the processing of raw materials. So why choosing Phoenix? Phoenix can ensure an efficient power conversion, a smart power storage, and it doesn't use no catalyst, no precious materials, and you can directly integrate it in the actual process. So what will be your gain? You will buy one system and you can face two challenges. Zero carbon heat up to 1000 degrees C, and you can capture CO2 at the same time. So please, support our dream and let the Phoenix fly. Thank you.
You have seen the 4 project. Now it's time. I ask the Regia to put on the screen the QR code because it's time to vote for the best performance. So who has made the best presentation? Please frame the. Okay, you are doing everything. The QR code, and please vote for the presentation that have convinced you more. I think we can wait for a few seconds. Okay, I think that most of you, they have expressed his vote. And we can proceed with, let me say that now we shift from inner innovation to open innovation. The first one was still open innovation, but this is a way to say that this is the moment where we see startups that come from outside the world of Snam. I'm talking about the HyAccelerator, which is I knew that I think it's the first corporate accelerator program worldwide focused on the technologies of hydrogen. I wrote down a few numbers just to give you an idea. 3 editions, more than 100 startups that applied, and 22 finalists, and 11 winners, 5 just this year. We wait just a few seconds for technical. Okay? As I said, according to what I said before, it is impossible for any organization, even big organization like Snam today, doing everything just internally, this is the moment to discover which contribute can come from outside. So, the first I want to invite here is Matteo Lualdi. Welcome, Matteo, mentor and senior manager of the HyAccelerator program. Then we have, I beg your pardon if I don't pronounce the right way your names, but Floris Fonjic, I think this is the way. Okay, welcome. For Elestor, then we have Aida Fernandez. Welcome, Aida. Please take your place. For the startup Reverion, and then Jonas Wollmander for Terra Barrier. I said that the winners were 5, but 2 of them couldn't join us today for different reason, but we are going to say something about them later, let me say. But I want to mention at least the name of the 2 startups, which are C0 and Sakowin. We knew about them in a second moment. Then, Matteo, if you can understand us what inspired to begin Snam to go through this project, this journey.
Thank you for the question. Well, as we heard from the speeches before and the introduction, we are a transmission system operator, so a midstream operator, going to a decarbonized energy system, a multi-molecule pan-European infrastructure. And this decarbonization is a complex challenge, which for sure requires new technologies which are not commercially available yet. So the HyAccelerator, which as the name suggests, was vertical on hydrogen, and this was born to identify, and engage with startups which were proposing innovative and interesting technology for Snam, but also it was open to the whole value chain because, as they say, there is no transition without transmission. we also need to support and enable the upstream and the downstream of the value chain.
Integration of, yes. I think we can, I don't know if you have some example or some success story to share with us, for example.
This goes back to maybe the first edition, actually, of the HyAccelerator, where we had a startup called Particular Materials, which submitted an idea which was very early stage, which was to produce hydrogen from supercritical water, which means that it would be a hydrogen produced at very high pressure without the need for compression.
Yeah.
They won the accelerator. Then, together with our associated company, Denora, Industria Denora, we created an R&D project in the end of 2022. And in 2023, we applied for European funding, which we won. And now we are in the journey of a 4-year project with a 3 million budget from European Union. So I'll tell you in 3 years if it's how big of a success is, but for the program,
so this could be the entry point of a bright future, let me say, for who is able to go ahead. So it's time to understand what are the proposals of the startups. I think we can start with Floris, and so with the startup Elestor. Can you tell us in 2 minutes what's the core of your idea?
In 2 minutes. So I think we all want to live in a country that runs on renewable energy only. So renewable electricity and renewable gas. The challenge of that is that renewables are not generated on a constant level. They are generated with a very intermittent nature. So the more renewables we put in our countries, the higher the need for flexibility becomes, and storage. And this is what we develop and manufacture at Elestor. It's a large-scale energy storage system. It's a flow battery, a hydrogen liquid flow battery that works as follows. You have a large liquid tank, a membrane stack in the middle, and a very large hydrogen vessel. The hydrogen dissolves in the liquid through the box, and it gives you electrical energy. If you put electrical energy back in the system, the hydrogen flows back into the box. Why are we here? The hydrogen is pure, so you can also store it in the pipeline. And if you do that, the only thing you need to do to double the energy content of this system is add another liquid tank, which is super, super cheap. So it's immensely scalable. There is no energy degradation if you do not use this system for half a year or a year, the same amount of energy are inside. So what it brings you is a potential of national power resiliency and a combination between the hydrogen market and the electricity market.
Interconnections, which are a key of our time, of the time we are living. Multidisciplinarity and interconnection also between different markets. Aida, what do you want to tell us about Reverion? Reverion is the right way?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. We are a spin-off from the Technical University of Munich. And there at university is where we have developed this technology over the years, driven by the question of how the perfect power plant should look like. So basically what we have done is to redesign the power plant from scratch, reinvent it, and after several years achieve this threefold innovation. First, our power plants achieve an electrical efficiency of up to 80%, which makes them, in fact, the most efficient power plants in history.
Oh yeah, that's impressive.
To our knowledge.
80.
Our power plants are reversible, meaning we can produce gas from power, but also power from gas. How does this work? When electricity prices are high or when there is a shortage of renewable energy in the grid, we take gas and produce electricity with this very high efficiency. But when electricity prices drop or there is an excess of renewable energy, we don't want to produce electricity. We take electricity and we produce gas. We can produce either green hydrogen or methane that can be stored for energy storage. And the third innovation is that when our power plants run on biogas or methane, we can capture the CO2 that is contained in the gas, making our power plants CO2 negative.
Negative.
And yeah, maybe it's very short, as a company, we were founded 2.5 years ago. In this time, we have grown our team to more than 100 employees. We have gained huge sales traction with a very large order book of pre-order units. And we have recently closed our Series A funding round to expand our production capacity. So we're now ready to scale.
Thank you, Aida. Thank you, Aida. For Terra Barrier, we have Jonas Wollmander. What you can tell us about Terra Barrier?
Thank you. And Terra Barrier is really more like a piece in the puzzle, solving a lot of the issues for the entire hydrogen business. Because what we do is that we do barrier coatings that prevent hydrogen embrittlement of steel and hydrogen permeation of steel. So we can be used on more or less all of these technologies. It's a barrier that will revolutionize how industries tackle extreme environments. Because traditionally, coatings, they are brittle, they suffer in high temperatures, in corrosive environments, in hydrogen-rich environments. But our solution is designed to endure this and extend the lifetime of critical components. And this is based on really deep tech research from Harvard in the US and Chalmers in Sweden. And it was our CTO, Anna Karlsson, in the audience here that sort of found completely new physics, material physics, some years ago, published in the Nature journal. And this is the foundation of our technology. So what we do is that we are really, I used to have to my notes, sorry for that. What we do is really, instead of adding a material that you usually do when you do coatings, we have a gas with a reactive agent that is reacting with and restructuring the metal surface. And by that, we create this extremely good and barrier. We target sectors such as high-pressure hydrogen, extreme corrosive environments, and extreme high temperatures. And our coating has already shown resilience in real-world applications, such as heat exchangers for hydrogen, ammonia crackers, and pumps. And we significantly reduce downtime, maintenance, and material failures. And this company has only been alive for 1 year. And in this year, we are now in the testing phase with 20 to 30 companies. We have already commercial units out there in the field. And so we are really not only offering a product, we're enabling these industries to push the boundaries in safety, sustainability, and in performance. So we are really reshaping what is possible with advanced material science, driving the progress for the industries that shape the future, like these companies.
Thank you, Jonas. We are probably in the century of new materials. This is the century of digital technologies and new materials, probably. I think in the future we'll look at this time in this way. I want to say something about the other two startups that couldn't join us today. The first is the C0. C0 is a startup based in Santa Barbara, California, which generate, this is very interesting, H2 and solid carbon starting from methane. Is what is called the methane pyrolysis. And I think, this is my opinion, that this is one of the most viable way to produce hydrogen at a price that is sustainable at the moment. Unless we have very, very big innovation in the green hydrogen field, this is going to be probably a good way to produce decarbonized hydrogen and carbon, which is very useful for other industry. About the fifth startup, Vaitea Cowan, I hope this is the right way to say this word. We have a video contribute. They send us some greetings, and I asked the Regia to put it on the screen.
Hello everyone, thanks for inviting me at this event that unfortunately I can't attend. I'm Matthew Schmidt, Head of Partnerships at Vaitea Cowan, who was incubated in the HyAccelerator previous edition. At Vaitea Cowan, we are decomposing natural gas or biomethane into hydrogen and solid carbon using a microwave plasma. This is a very energy efficient technology. Actually, we're using 5 times less energy than electrolysis to provide the same amount of hydrogen, and that being done on site and at the end of the gas line and on demand. We've been very happy to join the HyAcceleration team because it was very good mentoring. We've also deep dive into different use cases that could be used at Snam, which was very interesting, and we are also very confident that we'll be able to work with Snam in the future using this technology to decarbonate their assets. Thank you very much and have a successful meeting. Bye.
Prego. You can sit back, please. I have some few words, some few questions. Again, the first is, what did you catch from collaborating in HyAccelerator with Snam? This is a question for the startups. If there was any unique value that you catch from this, please.
Yeah, I can start. I mean, the obvious things are the contacts to the Snam network. We are already working with CubeGas here, and it's a great collaboration. But it's always also very good to get sort of other eyes on your business model, on the competitor analysis, and so on, because it's only done by us internally in the company, but getting some other eyes with a lot of experience that really broadened our sort of way of looking at the company. So that was very good.
Ada?
Yeah, I think I would highlight two different aspects. The first one would be being close to the customer, to industry expert, to someone that could be using our technology in the future. This is extremely valuable to have the time to go deep into the issues, into the problems. So for us to really understand what are the real pains, what are the challenges, and what do they see in our technology that could be a solution for that. So is it the high efficiency, is the reversibility, is the combination of both? So getting these insights, for sure, extremely valuable. And I would also say for us, which is very helpful in this program, is we are right now developing a new product line, and we are talking with Snam about a specific project for this product. And talking now about this project in the development phase is helpful for us to plan ahead what else is needed beyond our technology. So if Snam gets one of our units now, what will be this use case? When and where will it be connected? What is the infrastructure needed? What is specifications, which temperature, which pressure? So how will our unit be used by then in order to plan ahead what else is needed that we are not maybe considering right now?
There is something that you think is still missing in the industry to help the startups like this, startups to growing up, yeah? Briefly?
I think it's a well-known problem, but funding for deep tech innovations, especially in these first-of-a-kind projects, it's very easy to want to buy a technology that works and is profitable.
So the debt valley is the problem. It's the so-called debt valley, that one between the born of idea and the moment where the industry want to get the idea and introduce it in their business.
Yeah. Like, for example, also project finance for these very first projects, of course the risk is higher, but there's no way to finance that other than equity or, I don't know, some grants, but getting funding
some grants for
this
Europe.
very first project, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's very clear. Floris, what's the value you catch from this collaboration with the HyAccelerator, and what you think about what we need to help reality startups to grow up?
So first of all, thank you, Snam, and all the other TSOs that we are here and that you're doing this. And let's consider the opposite. The opposite was sending an email to info@snam.it and then say, hey, we have something great, who should we call? You know, that's how it was done in the past. And obviously, it is really hard from an internal perspective to sell something to another business unit, let alone a new technology that solves a problem you think as a technology developer trying to get into. So the other opposite, the positive side, is what the HyAccelerator program is, an internal team scouting great options and being the internal sauce of going around the company, dragging it in and trying to connect it to the right business units. So I think that's a really, really strong point, and it really helps us, and I also think Snam, in finding and making time for possible contributions to the company. And what is missing, apart from what you guys already mentioned, which is also true, is I think still there's a high relevance to innovation departments at this moment. And innovation departments have a goal of finding innovations and getting them 1 or 2 steps further. But the actual deployment of technologies is in the business units, and the business units either have a problem and a budget, or they don't. And there's also a bridge to the valley of death. And innovation inside is one, getting a demonstrator plant is another one, keeping it within budget is the third one. And then the actual story begins, getting it inside the business units, inside the companies. And it is really a big challenge, I think, internal for larger companies and also for external companies to cross that bridge.
So this is why I think HyAccelerator has born. Matteo, what you foresee for the next edition of this challenge?
We
call it challenge.
Yeah, we are working on the next edition of the Accelerator, which will be launched in the beginning of 25. this time we will open up the scope to also carbon capture, utilization and storage, and long-duration energy storage, apart from, of course, the hydrogen, which is the original topic. And in order to address some of the concerns also of the startups about funding for a pilot project, we are trying to involve in a more formal way also other European TSOs, so that some of them are here present in the room today, so that we can have a larger ecosystem and thereby also a means to share cost of expensive pilots.
Sometimes being the only one to have a great idea is a problem. It seems strange, but sometimes it's better to have someone else to share, also to let know better the ideas, and I don't know, to make also to go to the institution. You are more credible if you have some campaign in your journey. Now it's time for the award ceremony. So, Stefano, Venier, if you can join us again. You can stay here because you are winners. And then okay, I don't know if we have some prize. It's the moment for the prize giving. I think someone should bring us, and if there is someone who must make pictures, okay, they are there. I can see them. I'm sorry, I move it back. If you want. Oh, I can do it. So, what is happening now? Okay. I don't know if we have any video contribute on the screen. Okay. I guess that we need to move those. I'm sorry. We should move before this stops far from here. No. Why does it not work? Okay.
Okay, we are. Thank you all of you. I mean, this is surprise, sustainable, of course, recycled material, perfectly. Let me thank also all the other 80 companies, startups that submitted their proposal to the third edition of HyAccelerator. For the next one, that's going to be the fourth, that Matteo launched for the next January. I hope we will overcome 100. Okay, I think also that some of the comments we got from them, it's a clear, let's say, it's clearly consistent with what I said. I mean, cooperation. I mean, the point was, how can we cooperate between good ideas, innovative ideas, with existing companies, so those can be applied, and through this cooperation can also come up also additional evolutions of the original ideas, and I think that is another piece extremely important. So thank you to all the 80 companies that participated, but especially thanks to you for the contribution and the work we will do together. Thank you.
Floris Van Dijk, Aida Fernandez, Jonas Waldminder. Thank you for your job. You can stay with us a little bit more and we can take the picture, yes? Okay, thank you. Now it's the moment for the prize giving of the winner of the Centrale delle Idee. I think we have some graphics. Suspense. Borealis.
Please come You are the delegated for taking the prize. No others? Only you? I mean, there were 3 or 4, I think.
There are already
Please, come in.
all the team.
Come on stage. Come on stage.
He's my next concurrent.
I thought there were 3, now there are 6. If we wait 5 more minutes, they're going to be 20. You see? More than 10. Congratulations. Let me say something also with respect to the Centrale delle Idee, that is the 4th edition we had this year. I think you share with me the idea that all 4 ideas were very good. I mean, it was extremely difficult to select the winner. I think that all 4 were the winner, but also I think the winners are the more than 200 people that were involved in preparing, submitting, and creating these ideas. So thanks to my more than 200 colleagues that worked and dedicated time to these new innovative ideas. Thank you all.
Thank you. And now, final announcement. It's the time to proclaim the winner of the Centrale delle Idee. Please, regia.
How many this time? 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay. Who is the person entitled for receiving the prize? You? Okay. Congratulations. All of you. Again, congratulations. Oh. Shall we take a picture? Congratulations to the real final winners of the Centrale delle Idee for this year.
May I say just 2 words? I just want to say thank you to Snam, to support Snam Innova program, since we are strongly motivated to believe in our ideas and fight for them. Second, thanks to the team for the commitment. Thanks to all the colleagues and people who supported and contributed. Finally, but not least, thanks to Sergio, that after 45 years of experience in Snam, is going to leave. Thanks for your attitude, your enthusiasm, and your passion for innovation. You are a strong role model.
We're done.
There will be any further development for those ideas inside Snam?
Of course there will. Of course there will. This idea will be applied and tested and applied, I think, in our facilities. And if it's turned to be as successful as we expect, of course, it will be embedded and spread all into all the network. And that is the real motivation behind. I mean, the idea by itself doesn't mean anything apart from the prize. The real purpose is to have these ideas applied as the others that we have seen that will be further development.
They won't be abandoned.
No, not at all. Not at all. Thank you all.
Thank you to all. Thank you, Stefano. And now I'm looking forward to hear the next speaker. She's one of the co-founders of Enapter, which is an electrolyzer manufacturer. But she's also board member of Hydrogen Europe, and she's one of the Forbes 30 under 30 list for energy in 2020. I wrote that her personal mission is to bring green hydrogen to the Pacific Island and to hire more women as possible along the way. Welcome, Vaitea Cowan. Hi, nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'll borrow this. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Very exciting to hear about all these new innovations and what's coming up next. So thank you very much, Snam, for organizing this and for inviting me to speak today. So I believe that we are living at the most exciting time of humankind. What we read about in science fiction in the past and some books some years ago are now becoming a reality. Smartwatches, they're not just for detectives in comic books. Robots, R2-D2, no. Nowadays, we have robots in warehouses, hospitals, and even restaurants if you go to Asia. And breakthroughs in biotechnology are enriching our lives, from prosthetics to gene editing. And technology is further integrating our lives. I remember introducing Uber to my grandparents and telling them, no, Uber is not a person. But Uber is transforming the way we get around. Sometimes you even get a Tesla, and soon we will be getting self-driving taxis. Or take the example of ChatGPT. Last week with my 80-year-old uncle, I showed him, this is artificial intelligence. His first question was, tell me about wine history in France. Mine was, tell me about hydrogen. You can clearly tell we're testing AI's intelligence, testing its skills against our intelligence. AI is changing search today, and what's underway are AI agents, which will be making decisions. And the speed of innovation is ever increasing, and disruptions are happening across all sectors of society, from finance to health, from energy and space. And so we are here today to celebrate innovations and collaboration. So I want to start us off by taking a look at innovation cycles. And then we are going to address the biggest opportunity that our generation has and highlight some of the trending innovations. Now, I think something we all have in common in this room is probably that we're a little bit crazy, because you kind of need this to work in this field. You need a little bit of crazy to come up with fantastic breakthroughs. So we'll unveil a few of these innovation traits and then wrap it all up with how each of us can get involved. You might be familiar with this term, creative destruction. The economist Joseph Schumpeter introduced this theory of creative destruction in 1940. He observed how each wave of innovation changes how value is created in the economy. Since the start of the Industrial Revolution, this has led to major societal shifts. And you can see it here. If we take a look at the third wave and look at the internal combustion engine, up until then, we were using horses to travel. Henry Ford didn't just retire horses for travel. He set up a business model that introduced living wages, car loans, and drove down prices by setting up an assembly line and serial manufacturing of internal combustion engine. And we can see on this chart how these waves of innovation are getting shorter every year, from 60 years to now 25 years. And we are entering this sixth wave of innovation. It's the green innovation wave. And whereas the Industrial Revolution impacted mainly manufacturing and transportation, The current energy transition affects virtually every sector, from transportation to manufacturing, but also agriculture, urban development, and more, and it's happening globally. So we can see that this is greater than the Industrial Revolution. This sixth wave of innovation really is our generation's opportunity. Today's leaders and innovators, workers, are shaping a legacy that will influence generations to come. We have the unique opportunity to establish systems and technologies that can reduce our dependency on finite resources. And the world is recognizing this opportunity. If you look at the latest technology perspectives released by the International Energy Agency this year in 2024, just a couple weeks ago, you can see that clean and modern technologies are a sizable opportunity from an economic standpoint, that the market for technology is set to triple, reaching the value of crude oil market in the recent years. And the energy transition really holds this potential for substantial economic growth as well as job creation in new industries like renewable, production, electric vehicle manufacturing, battery technology, and energy storage. But while we won't go through all the innovations that we can reimagine our world of how we produce and store and use energy, I would like to highlight 5 innovations that rethink technology as well as business models. We can't talk about the energy transition without addressing the solar revolution that took place. It really started this whole wave by showing that we can go away from centralized way of producing energy and shift to decentralized way with a scalable and modular product. When you look at how it reduced prices for electricity, according to the MIT Press Review, from 2010 to 2018, the average solar power panel cost per kilowatt hour fell more than 80%, becoming cheaper than fossil fuels. And that really is what ushered in this wave of renewables. And this cheap electricity really unlocked a lot of the use cases that underpin the energy transition. And so, as we had more electricity from renewables coming online, as well as from wind turbines and other renewable sources, we also needed a way to start storing renewables. And so we see a lot of technological advancements in the battery space and also in other storage solutions, as we've seen today from one of the companies from the HyAccelerator, LSTOR. And we can see that a lot of innovations happening on the battery space, from a chemical production, but also from material use and essentially a use for recyclability. So as we bring on more electricity from renewables online, we also need to take in mind the grid-scale storage solutions. Another one I wanted to highlight is a dawn for nuclear. We've been talking about nuclear for a while. We all know about the events. But what's interesting to notice today is really the rise of small and modular reactors that are enabling nuclear fission to be safer, more adaptable, to be produced in more compact ways, easier to deploy, capable of providing consistent and reliable power. Now, the reason why I'm also bringing this up is that new players are getting involved. What's interesting here is that we can see the rise of big tech companies leaping onto the data center and the AI wave and needing more reliable, clean power. And now big tech companies are also driving the financing for such innovations to come up online. Still in the nuclear space, we're also reaching new breakthroughs. Imagine if we could replicate the energy powering the sun. This vision is becoming a reality. We're getting closer and closer. It's still some time away. However, we are seeing how nuclear fission is drawing significant attention as a potential game changer. And so technological challenges still remain, but we can see that nuclear can support us in decarbonizing our energy mix. Now, we've heard a lot of stories, and we've seen some fantastic technologies today on hydrogen. And I couldn't be up here on stage without addressing hydrogen as a clean molecule. It really has the potential to combine clean electricity with all of those hard-to-abate sectors. And we can see significant progress in driving down the costs of this clean molecule. Innovative ways to also produce hydrogen, as we've seen today from the HyAccelerator companies. There are also some black swans, perhaps you may know about or may not know about, but geological hydrogen is also a potential pathway to produce and to supply hydrogen for our upcoming consumption. So I think I was introduced here with perhaps a little bit of context also on how I ended up to be on this stage. And so indeed, I co-founded an electrolyzer manufacturer based out of actually Italy. So we have a factory in Pisa. And it was quite a journey from my time there from 2017 to 2024. And you know, when we started, we were really focused on one technology, the AEM, and doing it in a modular and scalable way. And at the time, in 2017, everyone looked at us like we were a little bit crazy. But as it turned out, and as we'll see later, that probably was one of the key to the success. Moving on to another aspect, which is carbon. We have emitted gigatons of carbon into our atmosphere, and we desperately need to accelerate the storage of carbon, but also the removal of carbon. And so we're noticing two trends in that space, as we've heard from one of the companies as well. On the one hand side, there's carbon capture, utilization, and storage, which immediately captures the storage at its source from industrial sites, which can then be used for fertilizer or otherwise stored and insured in safe ways. We are also seeing carbon direct removal solutions. So these are taking away biogenic carbon, but also removing it from the atmosphere. And we really need to actually accelerate, right, this direction of removing hydrogen and capturing it as well, because while the EU has one of the strongest ETS teams and is really the market driving this transition forward, until we agree on a carbon price that is at least $100 per ton, we are not making significant progress, and we're actually holding back certain industries like renewable hydrogen to take off. And also, Microsoft can't be the only buyer of carbon credits. And last but not least, I think we've been seeing a lot of digital ideas, and we are really on this green innovation wave. We are also riding on top of a digitalization wave, and it's enhancing system-wide energy efficiency and demand-side flexibility. If we think of smart grid, if we think of hardware that usually couldn't communicate to each other, but can now finally exchange information and enhance the flexibility, but also the usability. We can also unlock certain business models, like energy as a service, and we can have virtual power plants coming up online for distributed energy sources. Biosmart Truck was also a platform that is built upon, right, this digital era and underpins how it can accelerate and how we are also transitioning towards a radical resource productivity that is driven by renewables, but as well as circular material flows. Our creative destruction is bringing clean air, cleaner skies, and renewable energies that are underpinning our economy. Old fossil fuel plants can be transformed by green gas hubs, and our existing infrastructure can start transporting clean molecules. Nations that are rich with abundant renewable energy can capitalize on it, industrialize, and export it as well. And while this may seem like this is a science fiction book that we might be writing, actually this will soon become our reality. And while this might sound impossible, well, actually that's exactly what it should be. And this is when I want to start zooming in on those innovation traits. What does it take to have an innovation mindset? I want to start by talking a little bit about the crazy, and maybe some of you recognize this experiment, maybe not. So you have to be a little bit crazy to bring breakthroughs to life. Think about plugging in metal into a frog's leg and question, why are they jolting? Sounds like a wild experiment, right? But actually, it is the debate of two physicists, Galvani and Volta, which ushered in the understanding of electricity. Alessandro Volta, born actually just 50 kilometers north from Milan, invented the first battery. He showed that current passing through the metal created power, but not the frog itself. Moving on to risk. Without risk, innovation would be limited to a safe and incremental improvement. You don't know until you try, and we all know the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. And innovators are taking risks, making big bets on technology, as well as entering new markets and putting themselves out there. But as we enter this new wave of innovation, I think it's important to address that we should all be sharing risks from the private side, from the public side as well. Learning from failures. Mistakes are unavoidable. And I think this is a nice quote from Jeff Bezos. You have to have a willingness to repeatedly fail. If you don't have a willingness to fail, you're going to have to be very careful to not invent. And so you clearly see here how failing and inventions are intertwined. We cannot have one without the other. And we need to start getting comfortable with iterating, failing, and going forward, and also creating a culture where mistakes are part of an evolutionary process. On the topic of contrarian thoughts, there's status quo, and then there are innovators. And I think it's a good sign. If you're talking to someone, telling them your idea, and they start to raise an eyebrow, you're on the right path. Innovators don't seek validation. They're going after their bold ideas, and they're following their vision. When we were building an after, we were convinced that modular and AEM was the way to go. And I mentioned that people looked at us, in 2017, being like, "Who are you? You new kid on the block. What are you doing? You really, don't you know that these established players, they're the ones who know what they're doing?" And we're like, yeah, okay, you'll see. 4 years into the company, we went to the Hanover Messe, which is one of the main hydrogen fairs, and then everyone on their booths were saying modular, scalable, containerized. And then here, left and right, popping up AEM technology. And so from the very beginning, we just knew that this was the way to go, and indeed, that was validated as the competition started to appear. So as Churchill has also once said, don't underestimate the man that overestimates himself. So lastly, on the topic of collaboration, changing our energy system will only be successful through collaboration. And this is when the real magic really starts to happen. When you find the other people in the room and you see, oh yeah, you're a little crazy too, you're a little stubborn, but we're actually all dedicated to propelling this green innovation wave together. Because working together really will solve the key to tackling climate change. The biggest challenge for us is not technological. It really is about collective action. And the initiatives that we've seen today from the Centrale delle Idee and the HyAccelerator from Snam are great examples of how corporates can effectively leverage their infrastructure, their experience, their network, and their balance sheet to bring new technologies to scale. Because it isn't just these technologies that are bringing the advancements, but it's really the collaboration that are enabling it. So we are coming full circle on the greatest and biggest unique opportunity that our generation has. We explored how innovation cycles continuously transform industries and redefine what is possible. We discussed what's arguably the greatest opportunity of our time to drive sustainable and impactful change through innovation. Because as the theory of creative destruction goes, we need to evolve, things will evolve, innovations will come, and we have a choice to stay in the past or start with the new. And as Christiana Figueres also just said in the Financial Times, I think 5 days ago, ahead of the COP29 in Baku, clean energy technologies will continue to outcompete fossil fuels, not just because they are healthier, faster, cleaner, and more abundant, but because they undercut fossil fuels where they are at their weakest, their unsolvable volatility and inefficiency. And so this is the unique opportunity that we have to get involved. It is all hands on deck, and we're all here together to work on this. Each of us are here in this room and have a role in the sixth wave of innovation. Whether we're pioneer on a new technology, collaborating on a team, or pushing just an idea one step further, We all have a role to play in building the future that we deserve. You're all a part of a legacy of change. And if we dare to dream big and to act boldly, then we will shape the future that others one day will build upon. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaitea. Thank you. Okay, now we are close to one of the most awaited moments of every conference, the coffee break. And just a few information before to stop for a few minutes. And at the end of the coffee break, around 30 past 11, you'll be divided in 3 groups. It will start 3 parallel breakout sessions dedicated to different verticals. You will know which is the right room referring to the color that you have on your badge. That is one of the 3 is the green room. So I'm going to take you something about the 3 sessions. The first is corporate venture building, blue room. The second is clean tech and innovation leading the green revolution, is in the red room. That is this one. And then the third session is tomorrow's energy company, transforming industrial processes through cutting-edge technologies, is the gray room. Before to start with the coffee break, I want to remember that, can you put, oh yeah, thank you from the Regia. Please scan this QR code. This is to open an application that is used by Snam to compensate the CO2 emission of the event. You can put inside some few information, and then they can calculate what's the CO2 impact of the event and compensate it. Have a good breakfast, have a good coffee, and see you here again in 1 hour, few minutes more. Thank you for the moment. Okay, now we want to close with, it's time for takeaways from breakout session, the 3 breakout sessions that just ended a few minutes ago. I want to remember that over there is Lucio Bolognesi, he's a scribe that will help us to support the synthesis of what emerged from the three sessions. And of course, we will, the resume is in the hand of the 3 moderators of the 3 sessions. Riccardo Bassetto, Head of Operation of Will and Clara Media. Welcome. Marco Paretti, author and journalist, Will and Clara Media. And then again, Mattia Battagion, Head of Sustainability, always hidden, Will and Clara Media. Welcome, please. 1, 2, and the third here, please. That's okay. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So, there you can see the resume of this day is taking shape, and it will be completed in the next 10 minutes. So I asked to Riccardo Bassetto to make us a synthesis of what emerged from the corporate venture building breakout session.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was, I think, a very healthy conversation because we had 3 different point of views. We had Snam, that it's right now starting to build corporate venture building. Then we had Laura D'Angelo, that it's leading Anyverse in Any. It's a corporate venture building in Any, and so they have a bit more experience because they were created 2-3 years ago. And then finally we had Alexander Bussian that gave us a perspective. He's a partner at Bridgemaker, and so he gave us a perspective of how everything it's evolving. I think the main takeaways were 3. We touched 3 main topics. How we should do corporate venture building and the role of leadership that has to be completely aligned with the goals of the corporate venture building, because of course there are a lot of challenges, and this leads us to the second point, and the challenges are of course money, and talent. And so we started a large conversation about how to find the right talent. Should you find it internally? Can you find it internally? Because sometimes it's hard for people to leave their job and to risk everything, like their full-time job, and risk everything in a venture that it's clearly more risky, and of course can give you a level of salary that it's way lower than the one that you have.
At the beginning.
Exactly. And finally, and then, of course, here, when we talked about challenges, Laura said something that it's very insightful. So each case, it's different. You have to treat each case on its own. Corporate venture building, it's not the only way of doing open innovation in a company. There are some others. And depending on the stage of the company, you have to decide which is the best way of doing innovation. And finally, we close with a positive note, I would say, because we tried to understand how Italy is positioned in the corporate venture building ecosystem. Of course, Alexander has an experience in Germany. They're a little more advanced than us, and then he brought us an experience that he's seeing overseas in the US. And what emerged is that being the followers, it's not always a bad thing. Because of course you can see what others are doing, which are the examples that did not work out. We had a person from the audience that told us different examples. For example, Telefonica that started their corporate venture building program, but then decided to end it because it was not giving the right results. So it's something that we are starting to experiment in Italy. We don't know where it's going, but it's everyone said we'll see, and probably we'll have a good result out of it.
Thank you, Riccardo. Good being a follower, maybe not good being the last.
Yeah.
But
we'll see. We'll see.
Marco Paretti.
Hi.
So, what can you tell us about the tomorrow's energy company breakout session?
Yeah, we have a really interesting discussion about how the digitalization of a company could happen. And we had it with Luigi De Bortoli from Snam, with Luca Martignoni from BIP, and with Andrea Falciai from Accenture. And we focused on mainly 2 topics. One is are the challenges in digital transformation. That are really interesting, because we are talking about a big company, old infrastructure that needs to evolve in a new infrastructure. And in this period, there are a lot of distractions, like a lot of buzzwords, like blockchain and generative AI. And maybe not every company needs to follow this buzzword. Maybe not every company needs to dip into the blockchain. And then we have the people from the audience that came these very interesting topics. It's very important. The fact that we have to remember the people. We have to get them on board. Companies are made from people, not from machine. And someone said that that maybe it's time. Sometimes we need to slow down to get all the people on board. And then we talk about what we need to make this digital transformation happen. And one main topic was the vision, the lighthouse that every company needs to have to transition in this digital era. And one main thing is the data. Data is the fuel of this transition. You need data to know where there's a problem, when there's something that you have to change, and that now we had this transition from the theory data to knowledge. Now it's data to model to theory, and that we have to not just buy the technology, but by the use cases. Because the use cases are the experiences, and these experiences are the ones that solve the problems. And it was really insightful.
Thank you. Thank you, Marco. Now, I'm an engineer, so I'm very curious of what emerged from the third session dedicated to clean tech and innovation. So, Mattia Battagion, it's up to you.
Yeah, it was a very, very fruitful and deep discussion. We had 3 different perspectives from Mr. Margalef from the Snam decarbonization technologies, Mr. Galnares from hydrogen startup H2 Site, and Mr. Crema from Hydrogen Europe Research. And we started from a data that was already said during the morning, that is to reach our goals of decarbonization in 2050, we need technologies that nowadays are not here. So, of course, to develop these technologies, to build the legislation around these technologies is a long process, and we have to start now. And of course, there are, 3 main challenges. The technical one, of course. So we need R&D for that. Then we have the institutional legislation one. We have to write new legislation. We had a discussion about like this, and in Italy we are slow, and we need to do. It's new legislation. It's new processes.
I have seen once a little plant that worked in a school that worked with hydrogen, and they built around the tank for hydrogen walls of iron thick, 10 centimeters, because there was not a specific legislation to mention, let me say.
Exactly.
And was crazy.
And the third cluster, of course, it is a collaborative one. There's a challenge in creating and implementing collaboration, for example, in network to test these new technologies. For hydrogen, for example, you don't have just to make it clean, no? You have to build infrastructure, you have to build the transportation system, you have to build the market as well. So, of course, then we switched to how to overcome these barriers, how to overcome these challenges, and there were 2 big clusters of solutions. One is to keep incentivizing to create incentives for R&D, to keep exploring, and of course, not just like on a theoretical level, but on a application research one. And the other big, of course, great cluster is to strengthen the collaboration, but not just like create collaboration, but being aware of the different needs and timing of the players of this collaboration. So of course, academia has its timing. Private companies has different timings, and private companies have can be inserted in a more applicational research, and of course, public sector has its timing. So not just to strengthen the collaboration, but to be flexible, be aware of the different needs of the players, and to create this sense of urgency we need to create like a big-scale project.
He's the nerd of the company, as you can see.
I'm a nerd too, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Riccardo Bassetto, Marco Paretti, and Mattia Battagion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now it's time for closing with the help of Claudio Farina, Chief Strategy and Technology Officer at Snam. Welcome. The ladders are there. How are you? So, please, we can sit down for 10 minutes. So, you have been attending for all the event I've seen, and so my first question is, what do you feel were the most impactful insight and the key takeaways? Maybe something have been already said just a few minutes ago, but what's your point of view?
Well, I'm very aware that we are right before lunch, so I will try to be really straight to the point.
Hypoglycemic level is very dangerous at the moment. Yeah.
First of all, let me thank all of you who come here. I think it's been a great day of about sharing ideas, about having a discussion. We saw very different people with very different backgrounds, very different tenures on this stage today, all, I would say, motivated and pushed by passion for innovation, which is a great thing. Second, I would really like to congratulate with all the people who worked at the organization and setup of today. We raised the level of complexity at the highest range. It's Friday, we have fog, we have a national strike, so I think you really deserve an applause from all of us. So, I think we had a great day, as I said, great discussion, passionate and motivated. Everybody probably has his or her own takeaways. I will rapidly share mine. So first of all, the importance of being open and connected. I think most of the value of today came from the open discussion that we had, from different angles and different standing points. I think that we can really say now that definitely it's ended the era in which the value of innovation was about closing, excluding. This is my innovation and I get value because I exclude you from getting the value of it. Now it's definitely the era of opening up and sharing the value of it. The second one, which is pretty much close to the first one, is how most of the companies who are represented here today, we had our technology partners, our customers, we had our peers, so we had people representing several TSO from Europe, from Spain, from France, Belgium, Holland. As we are all working basically on the same issues, on the same technology, on the same things, and again, connecting to what I've said before, I think more and more the model of innovation is about building a platform which we build together where we share the cost, the effort, the value, and then everybody can add its own piece on top of that, which is dedicated to each of us and where we extract our own value. Third one, the importance of technology as a leverage for accelerating and habilitating the energy transition. It was part of the speech of our CEO, of Stefano, today. This is one of our two strategic levers. The magnitude of the challenge is so big that we really need a strong help and a strong habilitation from the technology. Lastly, how culture is really key now in order to implement, spread innovation through the companies. I would say that as technology is spreading more and more, is developing more and more, I would say that more and more the culture, the people makes the difference and not the technology itself. As I said, in a model where technologies are open, everybody has access to the technology. Obviously, you need money, you need resources, you need time allocated to that, but I mean, that can be found. But the really key element of differentiation is people, passionate, commitment, so basically what we saw today.
So, and if you look to the future, what do you think are the main direction that Snam should pursue to continue in leading sustainable innovation inside the company, and what do you think will be the challenges and the main opportunity that you will find on the road?
Well, as I said, the big challenge, the elephant in the room that all we have is how we will decarbonize, how we will do this energy transition, which is, as we said many times, not the first one energy transition that happens in our story as mankind.
Or you want a sixth.
Because we transitioned from solid fuels like wood and coal to oil, then to gas, and then we are transitioning to clean energies. But it's the first one which happens to be so big, needs to be so quick, the only one which has an exogenous deadline, which is a political and social decision, and it is not part of the equation, is an external an external constraint, and the only one in which the transition is not driven by the relative competitiveness in terms of cost, logistic, availability of the new energy vector, but instead it's pushed by the need, by the political and social need. So we need technology in order to accelerate such a big challenge in terms of magnitude and in terms of timing. And I think that technology will help, as we have, I think we have seen in operation today, will help also in capitalizing and building on the incredible knowledge that many of our companies have. Snam, the company I work with, as a first one, has more than 8 years of history, has an incredible level of capability, of skills, and technology can, let's say, really help us in accessing it, in capitalizing, in handing over to the next generations. What I usually say is that technology can really augment our capability, our skill.
I have another question. What you said before, just a few seconds ago, about the fact that this transition is pushed by external entities and is not driven by just the price of goods and so on. And today we are struggling with the economical aspect of the new technology. But what do you think? That at the end of the transition, do you think that we could have low-cost energy? That at the end of the transition, this technology, thanks to the innovation, will be competitive with what we know today, or it's no hope about?
Well, we have
do you think?
We have to, because we have to preserve what we say is the trilemma of energy, where affordability is one of the key angles. The challenge here is, I would say, that we have been used in the last 20, 25 years to transitions which happen mainly in the digital world. And the digital world can accelerate much more, has much less really physical, chemical constraints. And so, I mean, we are less used to transitions that really need investment, time in order to happen. No? Sometimes you feel like you are slow because you are lazy. No, you are not slow. It's not like...
it's a hard way. Yeah.
It's a hard thing. It has to do with hard stuff. It has to do with molecules, with iron, with investment on the ground. So I think it's a different task from many of the transitions that we have saw in the last years, where entire industries have been disrupted or changed by the digital technologies. Digital will help, will accelerate. Clean technology have to reach a cost position in order to preserve the trilemma, as I said before. I think we had an example today. We mentioned a couple of times the fact that the photovoltaic dropped by 80–90% the unit cost.
Maybe without external push, we couldn't experience such a phenomenon.
Exactly.
I don't think it was...
Exactly. It's a physical thing, so it took years. It took 10, 15 years. It doesn't happen overnight because in Silicon Valley somebody invents something new. It took time. It took incentives. It took a proper regulation. It took a proper allocation of the cost of scaling the technology.
But there's hope.
But there is hope. We must have hope.
Thank you, Claudio, Farina. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for participating.